There's also one of our favorite topics, which is generating revenue within the terminal. Terminal space is by far the most prized possession as an asset within an airport. The only thing is you can't have duty-free on every square meter of your terminal space. And the way airports are growing, they're getting bigger and bigger. So, how do we address some of the problems with that? You see, when we look at passenger segmentation, there's a correlation between destination and spend. So one of the easy things that we did was, we looked at certain destinations, we looked at if they belong to a premium segment category of how they spent, and we simply moved those planes to the gates that were at close proximity to the duty-free. That's one way to do it, right? But there's other ways as well that we looked at. You see, why not look at the airport as a virtual space? A virtual space, kind of like an Amazon or what have you, where you could buy your products early on, and then you come in and you pick it up. I saw this model being applied in Bangkok, actually. So it's nothing new. You guys have it here as well. So we're looking at that. We do have anxious passengers. Passengers who like to be close to the gate. Oftentimes it could be miles and miles away from the food court. So we're thinking, why not have an Uber Eats of some sort that basically the food gets delivered to you at the gate so that you're not walking away from the gate. Another suggestion there. There's also the whole notion of augmented reality, but with something neat on it. Having a gaming function in it, where you influence your passenger flow through some sort of Pokemon game, if you want to put it that way. You gain points if you go to this restaurant, if you know that there's congestion in the other restaurant. So we're looking at all of these different options as a means of basically helping generate additional revenue. Fundamentally, when you look at analytics, there's the 4 quadrants right there. Where I'd really like to take the airport, and where we as Toronto Pearson believe we need to go, is on the prescriptive and predictive part of the airport. Because this is where you're now enabling the software and not people to help make decisions. Everything else but prior to that, it just paints you a picture of trends and what basically played out during the day. We really need to get to that point. And you can't have that without quality data and a good governance structure, an idea of how you're going to handle all this. An airport is a very complex operation. So many players, third party oftentimes. And every one of these players have their own means of managing their data. The exchange of information from one player to another oftentimes is not timely. And for us as an airport operator, that presents a bit of a problem. You see, if we can't get our information in a timely manner, how could we influence behavior? Behavior comes with culture, but oftentimes you don't even need to look that far. Technology could offer a good solution in that. And this is where we looked at leveraging blockchain as a possible solution to this. You see, blockchain is nothing more than a series of events, call them blocks. You build one after the other, and the means through which this information is committed is trusted by all the parties that are involved in that chain. The applications are enormous because you could have so many players that could participate in this. And that's where this becomes such a neat solution because of its scalability. We worked on a proof of concept with an airport out west in Canada, Edmonton. That's in Alberta if you guys haven't heard of it. And the idea was really simple. In the same way that you take a parcel and you ship it through FedEx, UPS, whomever, right? You're able to know at any given point in time where your parcel is. There's even an IATA resolution, Resolution 753, that supports this whole baggage tracking mechanism. So why not leverage blockchain to help us track bags in a manner without having to invest in any additional sensors, RFIDs, and what have you. So we looked at this. It's very promising right now in terms of the work that we've done. And we are in talks with a carrier out west to basically participate in this pilot project.